In the last segment, I left you with the last limiting reactant problem. I set it up for you partially, made the plan, figured out your molar masses, and let's complete it together. 44.0 grams per 1 mole, 1 mole, 4 moles of water, 18.0 grams of H2O, 1 mole of H2O, and if only the C3H8 matters, push some buttons on your calculator, you should get 148 grams. Okay? Down here, molar mass, mole ratio, molar mass. 32.0 grams, 1 mole. Five to 4. 5 mole O2, 4 mole H2O, 18.0 grams, 1 mole. Okay, so if only O2 mattered, we'd get 49.5. Okay, so let's answer the question. What mass of water vapor, what's the maximum yield, what's the theoretical yield? Well, it's 49.5. And that's because once we make 49.5, O2 runs out. So the limiting reactant is O2, which means the C3H8 is in excess. Okay, so as always, you're going to want to try more of these, watch your videos that I've presented for you, work on problems together, work on your practice tests, do your warm-ups, all these things that you've been doing all along. Pause, practice. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to talk about is when you cook, you probably should experience that you never get out of your recipe what you think you're going to get out of it, especially things like cookies. Okay, so I like to go with cookies. And this is also new from those of you who came from 110. Okay, so that gives us percent yield, is what you actually get divided by what you should get times 100%. Okay, so we're going to make cookies again. Let's say our recipe says we're going to make 75 cookies. And you should be laughing in the background because you know no recipe ever will make that many. Let's say that you actually bake 52. Well, your percent yield is going to be 52 divided by 75 times 100%, which is 69% yield, which means then that you have an error of 100% minus 69, or 31% error. Okay? Page 20. Well, you can do the same thing with a chemical equation. Okay, so let's look at some examples here. In a reaction, if 113 grams is actually obtained and the percent yield was 80.4%, how much did you expect? Well, percent yield is actual over theoretical, which is the same thing as should, or expected, times 100%. Okay? So 84% divided by 100% is 0.804 equals 113 over x. That's what you're solving for. X, when you do your math, 0.804x equals 113. Divide through by 0.804. X should be 141 grams. Now to check, you would take this number divided by this number, and you should get this number back. Okay? Okay. If you have a theoretical yield and you actually obtain this much, what was your percent yield? Very straightforward. 79.00 divided by 106.8 times 100%, 73.97, because we want 4 sig figs. Very straightforward. Okay, What if you roll that into an entire problem like this? You have to actually calculate the should get and then go from there. Okay? So, here's a reaction. Okay, it's all balanced. I wouldn't ask you type. It doesn't fit into one of our categories. And I'm telling you that this is in excess, so we know that limiting reactant has to be the ozone. We don't have to do any math, so that's a gift. Okay? So we have one starting place, 50.0 grams of O3, which is ozone. Ending place will be grams of NO2. Okay, grams of O3, moles of O3, to moles of NO2, to grams of NO2. Okay, now for the purposes of keeping this under 10 minutes, I'm going to just go ahead and put the numbers in, and you can check them on your own. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1 mole O3, 48.0 grams O3, 1 mole NO2, 1 mole O3, that's your mole ratio right there, 46.0 grams NO2, 1 mole NO2, units cancel, grams of NO2, we would expect 47.9 in theory. Maximum yield, theoretical yield, this is what you should get. They all mean the same thing. Okay, so percent yield is going to be 25.0 divided by 47.9 times 100%, or 52.2% yield. Okay, now on all of these, it should be apparent on all of these, practice, 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 practice. Okay, so there should be time in the classroom where we're going over practice problems, we're working on your practice tests, we're doing more problems together. The idea is the more you come back to these lectures in this flipped format and see how I solve problems, the more you can go back to practicing. Okay, so again, it's just like football. Your football coach can tell you how to do the plays, but you don't get any better at it unless you practice. Piano, your piano teacher can show you how to play the keys, but you have to go home and practice. Okay? So the good news is this is the end of Unit 3. Okay? And with that, I will conclude this last video.